Hello, my name is Stephen Bruce with Clovis Rotary, and this is your month's news. District 5230 ended 2019 with great service and joy. Rotary Club of Carmel Valley and Selena Steinbeck Rotary Club celebrated a Rotarian service of Christmas at Monterey County Fair grounds on December 25th at Monterey. Members of the clubs joined in assisting to serve up a holiday dinner to over 800 people. Special thanks to Kim Lawson of Selena Steinbeck Rotary, who helped create a toy drive that provided a toy for every single child. Truly, the best gift a Rotarian can receive is seeing the gratefulness of joy on those faces. Rotary Club of Clovis welcomed their Christmas assembly and distributed Christmas food boxes with help of local volunteers, Clovis Unified, Clovis Police Department, and so many more. They assembled and distributed 500 boxes by the end of December. Rotary Club of Fig Garden also assembled and delivered 53 holiday boxes around Christmas. Nothing is better than enjoying the holiday warmth while sharing the blessings with those around us. We hope you all enjoyed the holidays and are ready to a wonderful start of a new year. Our 2020 started with great news. The International and Youth Chair on the Monterey Cannery Row Rotary Club, Ilge Gulsev, was honored by the United Nations with the Rotary People of Action's Connectors Beyond Borders Award for her work with child Syrian refugees living in Turkey. 6 of 80 applicants were chosen for the award. Karen Cox-Blaine was the only one picked in the United States. Congratulations, Ilge, and we are looking forward to having you in our studio. Our year started strongly with a visit from our Rotary International President, Mark Mullaney, on January 17th, Mr. Maloney had an evening at Visalia Marriott Hotel, sponsored by North Fresno Rotary and Visalia Rotary Clubs, where members from all over the district attended. Mr. Maloney discussed our Rotary Year achievements and addressed matters of our district projects for the year. And now, off to Rod.
Welcome to the next edition of Adventures in Service, how Rotarians are affecting the world, throughout the world, and in our community. I'm Rod Coburn, and I am the District Governor for 5230 District, which encompasses Fresno, Kings, Tulare, and Monterey counties. And I'm happy to be here today to have a discussion with Bob Althoff and Jesse Ruelas of the Rotary Club from Clovis. So welcome to our lovely set here today. It's a pleasure to have you here because we want to talk about what you did, your club did during the holiday season and how families were impacted by what you're doing. So can you tell me a little bit about your food distribution program, how it started, and what was kind of the genesis of this?
Well, thank you for having us, first of all. It started in the early part of the 80s, about 1983. I was a new member at that time, and I just felt that there was some need for some distribution of food in our community. So initially, we just started, we passed the hat at that time. There wasn't a special program, but we passed the hat. And I think we collected a little over $100 at that time. And through my business and my small connections in the community, I was able to get some more donations. And we put together about 25 food baskets, very small amount. The people who got it were very appreciative. The next year, the club saw the need, and they saw that I was going to be able to do a job on it. And we distributed 100 food baskets. Then the third year, there was a police officer by the name of Larry Vietti in the police force who was also doing the same thing. He happened to be a good close friend of mine, working through the Chamber of Commerce and the Clovis Police. We got together and we said, why can't we put this thing together, make it a really, truly community service? I said, great. We had the first goal in our minds at that time was, who's going to get credit for it? both Larry and I decided nobody gets credit. This is going to be a community service. We're going to try to put this thing together. That third year, with the Clovis Police Officer Association and the Rotary, we put together almost 250 food baskets. So then 1986 is when we really got the thing going really, really fast. And we got the Salvation Army. We got a bunch of churches, the Catholic Church, Mount Moriah Baptist Church, and more specifically and more importantly, the Clovis Unified School District. And from that point on, it just took off like gangbusters. And we were doing there, the fourth year was 400 food baskets. I think Bob now has got it up to 500 food baskets. The people are very appreciative of it. I put some numbers together, just roughly numbers that the food baskets are probably consist of about $75 worth of food on the average, more or less. And when you figure the time that we have done it, it's been close over $1 million. It's hard to believe that has been distributed through Bob and all the work that he puts together and everything. I did it for about 16, 17 years. Bob has done it since then. And Bob can speak more to it than I can because he's the man. He's the one that is responsible since that particular time.
But I can see in your face, you're a really proud father of giving birth to this program and understanding how Rotary can directly impact people in our communities. So Bob, where do you get your food and how do you put it together?
Thank for this guy started this thing, did a great job. I took over about 1999. What we do, we started with Bill Smith Camp. I used to get bins that they fill oranges with, and we deliver those in our pickups to different schools. And the schools' children will fill these cans with canned foods. And then there's a rental place in Clovis that gave us trucks with lifts on them. All we did have to pay for the gas. And we get 2 trucks, and we get about 10 Rotarians. They're worth about 2,000 pounds. And we go pick those up the last day of school on a Friday. And then we'd take them over to, we used to do it at Pelco. After McDonald's sold Pelco, I could tell they just really went out there. So I asked my good friend Pat Riccuti with PR Farms. He's also a close Rotarian. I told him my situation. He said, Bob, whatever you want, you got it. He's an unbelievable guy. So we started taking we used his bins, and this last year we delivered 28 bins to different schools, 28 bins full of canned foods.
Wow.
And then we take them back over to PR Farms on a Friday. Saturday morning, I have Interact kids from Clovis High School, Buchanan High School, Gateway High School, Clovis North. They come over at about 8 o'clock in the morning. We separate cans. We put 500 boxes together. They're flat. We put 500 boxes together. We get through in about 2 hours. Then we bring in breakfast burritos for the kids. And then Sunday morning, we meet at 7:30 at Pat Riccuti's lunchroom. I thank a lot of people, introduce some people. We've got probably 10 different schools now that we deliver bins to. It's really going. We've got about 300 of the families of Clovis helping us put this thing together. We have all the boxes stacked at one end. We have a conveyor belt, roll on. We stack all this food along the conveyor belts. We have people standing next to each one of those bins. As the box comes by, they fill it up. When it gets down at the end, we put it on pallets. Pat Rucuti, he pays his employees, his forklifts, move them out in the back, out in his driveway out there. We have high school kids. There's 500 families that come in their cars. They have to have a sheet of paper. We give 200 to Clovis Unified School District, 200 to Ginny at Salvation Army in Clovis, 50 to Clovis Police Department, and 50 to Rotary Club. So there's 500 families that get food. They drive up. We couldn't do it. The police department's out there directing traffic. When you got 500 people lined up out there, we couldn't do it without the police
So
department.
that's 500 families,
Yes,
a couple thousand people,
a lot of people.
a lot of people.
They drive up their cars. They don't even get out of the cars. I have these young high school kids pick up these boxes. They're heavy. I can't pick them up. And they put them in their car. It's amazing. But when it's neat, sometimes we have the television come out there and want to take pictures. I said, don't take pictures of me. I want you to take pictures of those kids. They're giving up their whole weekend to help needy people.
Right.
99% of the kids are out there like this. You know, you don't put television on these kind of people.
Right.
I want you to take pictures of these kids out here giving up their whole weekend to help families.
So not only has Rotary, in this instance, helped families in some food activities, but they're also giving some guidance and mentoring to high school kids about what philanthropic activities are all about, so they can understand directly how people are impacted by what we do through Rotary or any other
That's correct.
major organization like that. So what is in the boxes? I mean, you said canned foods, or boxes.
Well,
what do you put in there?
The canned foods, when they separate, we've got vegetables, fruits, a lot of things. And there's 28 bins full of those canned foods. There's a lot of food there. Then we go out and spend about another $7,000 to $8,000 at Walmart to pick up mostly
Milk, eggs,
and butter and staple stuff.
Right.
Yeah, and I get 500 chickens from the South through the Salvation Army, frozen chickens. It's an amazing thing. The whole community gets together.
So what I heard is 500 bin or boxes you put together, and 50 are retained by the club. Now, what do you do with those 50 that are retained by Rotary?
Yes, some of them, like Jesse takes a bunch of them. He takes probably 20 of them, and he has those families that need help.
And I personally go out there and deliver it.
Do you take the kids along with you?
Oh, absolutely.
And what's their impression when they are delivering the food to the families?
They are very thankful. You cannot believe the situation for some of the families, especially around Christmas, when they can have an extra $50, $75 in their pocket to buy toys for their kids. It's a godsend. It's a feeling that is very, very hard to describe, but I am blessed to be able to be part of it, and that's one of the reasons why I initially started doing this. Again, what the Clovis Rotary Club and its board of directors, and what Larry Vietti and I, and Bob was also part of this too. What we stressed to them, that we didn't want any credit for this or accolades. We wanted this to be a community service. And I truly believe this is one of the biggest projects in the Valley that involves the whole community. The police, the CPOA, the Police Officers Association, they, throughout the whole year, they collect bicycles that either were left or confiscated or whatever situations, and they put them together, and they give out another 100 bikes also.
They also give us $2,000 check.
Yes.
So you're doing this as kind of the lead agency, but you have cooperation throughout your whole
Throughout the
community.
whole community.
The whole
community.
community of Clovis is
Yes.
involved in this. So how many people ultimately are involved between
We're around 300.
300 people,
300 people.
including the high school kids?
Mhm.
Boy, what a
Yeah.
great program
Yeah.
in mentoring and,
That's-
and teaching the lessons of why we are there to create service above self, which is the motto of Rotary. That's terrific.
Some of the money we get, we ring a bell. I'll kind of start off with ring a bell for $100.
Right.
I get 100% of the Rotarians ring the bell for $100, just so we can go down and buy it $6,000 or $7,000 worth of food.
Right. Some do it more than once. They ring it 3 times, and for $300.
Yes.
That's how committed they are. They think they always come and tell me what a wonderful situation this is, and of course they tell Bob the same thing too. All the Rotarians are very, very supportive and helpful. Anytime we ask for something, they're right there, and it is.
This
really
guy here
something.
started the whole thing.
Yeah, well, he's the proud father on this. So what other programs does the Clovis Rotary get involved in?
We do community readers at Sierra Vista Elementary School. We help second graders read.
You're doing a dictionary project too.
Do the dictionary. We do.
Tell me about the dictionary project.
There's probably 20 schools that we
That's
that
right.
we
It's
and each school. I do 2 schools, Clovis Elementary and Weldon Elementary, and each one of those is probably around 200 kids in each one of those schools.
at least.
So you multiply that times 20
Yeah.
schools. It's so neat when you see the face on these kids when you say, that's your book. As soon as you get that book, you write your name in it. You can take that book home. That's your book. Unbelievable.
Well, you know, there's a number of Rotary clubs that do that, the dictionary project. In our 4 counties, there's about 10,000 children per year
Wow.
that are getting dictionaries. Oftentimes, it's the first book they ever had.
Yeah.
And to be able to write their name in the book and say, this is mine, you know, is just
Yeah.
terrific.
You know, when I first started Rotary, to raise money, we used to sell hamburgers and sell fireworks for. Finally, we got to our crab feed. We could not do that. We have 600 people that come to that crab feed. We could not do it without the Interact kids. They wait on all these people. We could not do it without those Interact kids from all these schools, Clovis High School and Buchanan.
And the Interact is very, very heavily involved in our food baskets. That's how we.
Yep.
I mean, they are just there all the time, and of course, we also, our club is very supportive of the Interact Club through donations and grants that we provide to them. So. Everybody wins. It's a win-win situation.
Well, I think you should be very proud of what you do and the historical impact of Clovis Rotary in your community. And when I go and talk to Rotary clubs, one of the questions I ask is, what would your community be like if there'd never been a Rotary club or there wasn't one now? And you just start checking off all of these things.
Right.
And in this case, there's several thousand people that are now have some meals in Christmas time during the holidays that they might not otherwise have. So I want to thank you both for coming. Thank you for sharing your story. It's a great story. You have a wonderful Rotary Club, and you're the epitome of service above self, and that Rotarians throughout the world connect the world together through our service. So thank you for being here.
Rod, thanks for inviting us.
Well, you're welcome. My pleasure.
Thank you so much.
My pleasure.
Hi, my name is Peter Fortuna from North Brunswick Rotary, and I will be giving you our events listing today. Rotary District 5230 kicks off our event listing with the 29th annual Clovis Rotary Crab Feed. This event will be held at the Clovis Veterans Memorial at 808 4th Street in Clovis on February 29th from 6 to 10 p.m. This annual event typically sells out, so please purchase your tickets as soon as possible. Porterville Breakfast Rotary Club will be hosting a special prom at Granite Hills High School cafeteria in Porterville. The event is scheduled for March 7th from 5 to 9:30 p.m. Please contact the Porterville Club for tickets. Rotary District 5230 is celebrating the month of February with lots of love and joy. The Foothill Rotary Club is hosting a Valentine's Day party at Mount Whitney Place Apartments for seniors in Lindsay. The club will be holding a taco dinner on February 13th at 5 p.m. where members will be mingling with our seniors and sharing the Rotary spirit with them. Please join the Rotary Foothill Club and celebrate Valentine's Day. This concludes our events listing for this episode. Please join us on our next episode for more events from Rotary.